What do you offer the people of the East Midlands that the other three parties don't? What would you do as an MEP if you got elected?
I think the one thing that we can offer the people of the East Midlands is this whole notion of being a champion for Europe. I keep repeating this thing that we are the only party of in. The Conservative Party are toying with the idea of exit and playing a very dangerous game, in my opinion, because, as I said before, they're trying to out-UKIP. So, and the Labour Party are dithering. The Labour Party don't know whether they're in or out. So of the three main parties, the Liberal Democrats are the main party of in. What we've got to remember is that when it comes to Europe, 3 million jobs in this country depend upon Europe. 3 million jobs. In my own region, 114,000 jobs relate to Europe. We have something like about 80 billion pounds of funding that comes in terms of inward investment from Europe. Europe is our biggest export market. More than 50% of our exports go to Europe. So in every respect, and that's not all. We have cross-border cooperation in terms of crime. We have cross-border cooperation in terms of the environment and lots of other issues included. So basically, Europe is a fundamental part.
But you don't want the people of this country to have the right to a referendum.
No, we're not saying that people shouldn't have the right.
So why don't you support the proposals for a referendum in 2017? No,
basically because we believe that a referendum should be had in the appropriate circumstances.
What's the appropriate circumstances?
We have always, as a party, supported an in or out referendum. Nick Clegg made that very clear at the last.
So why not have it in 2017?
Because we need to make sure that the economic and the social circumstances are appropriate before you do that. Otherwise, you're going to end up.
How long is that going to take?
Well, the point I'm trying to make is, Shafiq, is that unless you have the right circumstances, what you are doing is you're playing with jobs and the economy. Britain depends upon Europe for jobs and the economy. No sensible party, no sane, balanced party will make a commitment such as the Conservatives have made without considering jobs and the economy. We don't know what the situation will be like in 2017, and what you don't want to do is to mess around with a very stable situation that we have. Okay. We need to have a referendum, but when the circumstances are right.
Obviously we're in the Northwest, and obviously, do you think in that tussle between Chris Davis and Nick Griffin for that final seat, who do you think would win that?
I think Chris Davis will win that, and the reason why Chris Davis will win that is because Chris Davis has been around for a long time, and Chris Davis in the Northwest has a really strong reputation. And don't look at the sort of the Wythenshawe result as a reflection of how things are going to pan out. You know, I'm personally very confident that by the time we get to the European elections, we'll have had the usual bounce we get at every single general election, every single European election, of the additional 3 or 4% which will come onto our vote tally. And that, coupled with Chris Davis's popularity, and he is very popular in the Northwest, and in particular when it comes to, for example, Muslim communities, you know, he has been very, very supportive of a lot of issues that are important to Muslim communities. If you recall the time when he actually stood up against the treatment he had when he visited Gaza, and he made a very big song and dance about that. So where Chris Davis's loyalties and his politics lie, they're not hidden from the Muslim community. So I'm very confident that Chris Davis will get in.
Issan, East Midlands, very diverse. You've got Lincolnshire, Boston, you've got Nottingham, Derby. It's such a diverse region. Are people talking about immigration?
Well, yeah, they are. I mean,
I suppose knock the door and they see a Liberal Democrat, they see Issan Ghazni, and
well, what you've got in the East Midlands, you've got Leicester, Nottingham, Derby, Northampton, areas with high black and minority ethnic populations, high, not as in extremely high, but 10-12% of the city's population. And then you've got vast areas of rural areas, such as Lincolnshire, where people have got a completely different lifestyle completely. We've been out on the doorstep, and you're right. I mean, one of the biggest, issues that we face on the doorstep is immigration. There's no doubt about that. Immigration, the two biggest things spoken about are immigration and UKIP. There's no doubt about that.
Can we just cut you short, because we're really running out of time, and I just want to kind of tie up this issue of immigration. Issan, you were saying?
Yeah, basically I'm saying that it is an issue on the doorstep, and people are concerned. But we found that once we actually tackled people and spoke to them, about the misconceptions that exist out there, the myths that exist out there about immigration, once we tackled them and told them about the figures of immigration in terms of net migration versus net immigration, and the net value that immigration brings. I mean, actually, European migrants are net contributors to the UK, and people don't know that. And actually, they put in more money into the system than they take out. They're less likely to take benefits, and they're less likely to live in social housing. So all of these myths, once you actually tackle people on the doorstep, many people that I've spoken to have said, okay, we didn't know that. So I think there are newspapers like the Daily Mail, the Telegraph, other sort of newspapers, Express, etc., Sun, Star. Those sort of papers are actually putting out a lot of negativity about Europe, a lot of xenophobia and Islamophobia as well. The only way we can tackle this is actually by meeting people on the doorstep, because the counter media is not strong enough to be able to overcome the negative myths. But immigration is still an issue, and it needs to be tackled. Yeah, basically, I think this election coming up on May the 22nd is really about the realization that Europe is a very, very important player in the lives of British people. And I want people out there to understand that the jobs and the economy, Europe is our biggest export market. Europe is our biggest partner in the commercial life of this country. It's our biggest net inward investor into this country. And in terms of the freedom of movement, that's very important in order to drive the economy and the engines of this economy. At a moment when the economy is beginning to grow, we need people, we need a trained workforce, and please do not demonize those communities who are working here legally and under European law. And please remember, the Liberal Democrats are the only party of in. We're the only truly European party, the pro-European party, out of all the mainstream parties.